If I die today, please don't say it was sudden. What ripped me apart has been at it for a while. When I tear a hole in the earth, I do not want to hear the word sudden. Tension building.
They say the meek shall inherit our name. But what else is in a name if not the soil fertilizing the roots to a family tree? They say the earth shall inherit our name. They say our name shall inherit the earth. There is a lineage buried in each and every last name, so now every introduction of a name feels like a family reunion.
Aim for the skies, for at least for years, be searching for the stars. Consistency is key, so really aim and shoot for Mars.
But if you flop, you might not go up. Being around creative is something that really excites me as a person. So about 3 weeks ago, I decided to go for Ramblings Thoughts Book Club meetup. And when I was there, I can just, the sense and the vibe of that, of the creatives around really amazed me. And I was like, oh, why not? Let me get these guys to be on my podcast, because I had amazing poetry that I feel like, we could share this on my podcast. It's great to have every one of you on my podcast. I can't thank you guys enough. Right?
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Thank you. Somebody did not say anything. All right. Do I need to introduce myself? You already know me, right? But give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves. So should we start from here? Yeah. Let's start from here.
Okay. My name is Tasio Z. Jovita. I'm mostly a student, but more recently, I've been a poet for a while, but more recently, a more active poet. And I also play it prose and drama.
Okay, you play with prose.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Hi,
Yeah.
my name is Divine. It's good. Oh, next.
Okay. My name is Sajid Mato and I am a spoken word artist. I work with Kaduna State Water Corporation as RDBD officer. That's results delivery and business development. And I also work with Muffins and Brownies as an auditor, among many others.
Big boy. Nice.
Hi, my name is Sam Emmanuel and I'm a hustler.
Just trying to be humble. We can't see it. We explain. All right.
So, hi, my name is Khalid Isa, and I am popularly known as Mr. Incredible. The Incredible is INK, not the INC. And I was once a therapist. I always say this, but I've stopped being a therapist because I need one myself.
The therapist is the therapist.
Then I do a lot of things too. I just recently joined real estate and also other things like research, voiceover. I do adverts for products and many other things. Yeah.
Okay, hi. My name is Omolola Akondi Victoria, and I'm a student. Full stop.
All right. So let's start with the first question. Would you say you're creative?
Maybe directed to all of us.
Everybody?
Absolutely.
Okay. You're so sure that you're creative?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a different answer.
Okay.
For me, the aim is not to create, the aim is to express. There's always something hitting inside my head. That's what pushes me to carry my keyboard or my pen. Is when the thing has been hitting inside my head for a while that I say, okay, let me just go and write this thing. So the aim is usually not to create, it's just to so that to stop disturbing my head. That's
But that's the
That's creation, exactly. Okay.
because anything you try to like fight, and you are trying to make art of it because you're like fighting it because it's like hitting your head, and you are creating something
The process
so that you stop it. That's also creative.
Why
So you're saying that the way people are saying it now, like, like something is hitting your head.
Yeah.
What's the feeling like?
like the thought comes and then you decide to do other things and it comes again. You decide to do other things and it keeps coming and keeps coming and okay, let's get it over with. Maybe if I write it,
Okay.
it will
There's just
stop
this
coming.
peace
That comes.
when you're done.
Some days it goes after the writing, some days it stays, but the writing helps most times.
If there's anything I'll pick out from how you've defined your creativity is expression. Creativity to you is expressing everything, boiling things, the ones that are boiling, the ones that are not boiling. Right? It's expression.
Yeah, art is mostly everything about art is expressing what you feel, what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically not even for writers, poets alone, even painters. Some are just more of what I feel or what I saw something somewhere
Yeah.
and it inspired me to paint this thing or inspired me to write it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just it. Basically, everything about art is expression. When you express that thing you're feeling or you're thinking about, be it you're a painter, like I said, or even a musician or anything, there are people who sing for experiences about life, about most things. Yeah, so that's
Like
just,
Omali.
yeah.
And I guess it's safe to say then that there is there's creativity in expression.
Okay. Because different people are expressing themselves.
Yeah.
I can't express myself.
So you're still being creative
Alright.
and expressive.
Okay.
But I guess we're all creatives.
What we want
Are we guessing this, so we are sure?
We're
We are
sure.
not
No,
sure.
I feel I am a creative. Because not even being like the poet alone, the way I do my things as an artist,
Okay.
I feel I'm a creative.
Okay.
I'm not even feeling, I'm sure
Okay.
that I'm a creative because the way I do my things is one of a kind. So I invented something
Alright.
for spoken word. So
Nice.
that's something I can call creativity.
Alright. Nice.
And I think I'll agree with you because my creativity is not just in writing. It's like when I'm creating videos, when I'm doing content, anything I do is actually, I have this picture of how I want it to be and I don't want it to be normal. The songs I put or how I'm doing everything, it just has to go in the way I want it to go.
Yeah. Just trying to maybe be different or just sometimes maybe trying to achieve some
Just
level of
explore,
uniqueness.
explore with everything I have.
Okay.
Which will lead me to say, I think everyone is a creative.
Okay.
I'd like to extend the creativity grace to everyone. Every individual creates one way or the other, no matter the field or sector you find yourself in.
Okay.
But few only understand that they are creative.
Some don't know yet.
They might not know, but it doesn't take away the fact that they are creating something
Yeah, I
at
know.
the end of the day.
I mean, even market women,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
We do the arrange
They
that.
like
They arrange it, the
haggle,
way they say
even the
it.
haggling thing.
Yeah, the way they are calling you to come.
It's
I mean,
creativity. More of like the Igbo people. The way they like, okay, I don't have this, but we have another store
our
somewhere,
husband.
and it's not their store. They just go there to like get. That's also creativity. Maybe he doesn't just want you to go like that without him getting something from you.
Okay. Nice.
It's also
Nice. All right. So, exploring being a spoken word artist or being a poetry? Is it poet? Being a poet?
Poet, yeah.
Yeah, not being a poetry. Being a poet, right? How did you find? Okay, so this is. Let me start from the side. I started from the side. How did you find yourself being a poet? Right? How did you find that side of you? Right? Did you just start? Okay, so we are going to debunk things, right? So, for some people, if I can put rhymes, okay, like, oh, go to the rain, not in the rain.
Don't do it.
Does that make me a poet? Or is that a sign? Like, oh yeah, there's something for me in
There's
this.
potential.
There's potential for me in this thing. Yeah. What makes you a poet? Right? But not what makes you for now, right? How did you find yourself being a poet?
Well, first of all, I would not say that I am a poet. I
Okay.
would say rather that I am an occasional writer.
Vocational.
Yes.
Mm.
And I would say that I write mainly because I have a wandering mind.
Mm.
Yes.
You used to wonder.
Yeah, my mind wanders.
So which of the wonder? Is it wonder that you
Not
just
wandering, like
you
it
don't
goes
get lost?
different places. Yes. Yes. So sometimes I could find myself in a particular place, in a particular situation, with a particular kind of mood, and something comes out of it.
No, you do that.
It's supposed to be
We
down.
don't know.
You better tell us.
It's fine. Nice. So when you wonder, when your mind wanders, you now begin to write.
Sometimes that's one of the ways that I express myself. So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, for me, it's passion. I've been having this passion since when I was in JS2,
Mhm.
and I always wanted, back then, I wanted being a teacher.
Mm.
Like, this feeling when you were since when you were in primary school and the way your teachers behave, okay, sit down, hold your lips. Those things, I normally come back home and I use all the teddies I once had then, I keep them. And I start teaching them ABCD and 1, 2, 3, 4 when I was a little boy.
And you tell them to do this.
Yeah, hold your lips.
Okay. Nice.
And I do all those things, hold this, I flog them a lot, that kind of thing. And I just wanted to be a teacher then, not realizing maybe it's me wanting to be a poet, more of a spoken word artist. Because I feel when the first time we were introduced to poetry is when I was in JS2. My teacher, the types of literature, yeah? Poetry, prose, and drama. So the example he gave us for poetry, that was just what got me like, wow, okay. I want to know how to connect these words, and so he started teaching me, and it was just like maybe a coincidence, or maybe it's just that's just how it's meant to be. But since when I was in JS1 till JS3, I was the overall best in English language. So I am like his best student.
Okay.
I was his best student, so he taught me a lot about poetry. And as I keep on growing, I keep on having the urge to learn more, and that was when I realized, okay, I think maybe it's poetry that is the thing, not the teaching.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's also because I'm not trying to condemn teachers, but I just feel like, okay, teaching is not for me.
Okay.
Teachers don't get rich now.
Well, I'm not condemning them though, but it's just that
That's a hard one.
but everybody wants to like
Cash up.
so but it's just a joke sha. I just feel like it's not the teaching, it's the poetry and the spoken word. And I've been having this spoken word thing for like since when I was in SS2 again. Since before I know what spoken word is, because I like to write my rubbish and I still like read it out, like recite it for my mom and my dad, because like
And they will patiently listen.
yes, and it will be like you can do more. And I have said this that okay, that my dad has always been the support system for the growth and the courses I've taken during this poetry journey. Then my mom has always been the like motivation because she was a writer, but she's late. So she helped me in learning how to like write. Like okay, this is how you the meters, the whatever. So I feel mine is more of passion and then trying to like use my own feelings to like express to people so they will learn from some of the mistakes, some of the things I've corrected. Yeah, so it's still teaching. That's it. Yeah.
Alright, I think I have a rambling mind first. I ramble a lot.
You have rambling thoughts.
Yes.
Rambling, wondering.
Yeah, I ramble. When she was saying wandering, I could relate. And I've been a reader since at an early age. So my dad is a professor. So they just throw a lot of books at you. I know when you read more, everybody can agree that the more you read, the more you write. Yes.
Yeah.
So you read Jane Austen, you read Chimamanda, you read different writers, and you're like, I want to write like this, but I don't want this part of this writer. So I want to create my own niche. And I've been writing at a very early age, like right from Sunday school days. I would write, okay, this is what we're going to say, this is what we're going to do. I'll organize people, yeah, you do this part, I'll do this part. And I grew up, and just like him, I had supportive parents. I would read it out to them and they'll clap. I'll be like on a stage and I'll read it and they'll clap. And I'm very happy. And I grew up and I started to read literature. So for me, this is my thing. I'm really invested in it. I love reading. I love writing. And as Tasio said, there's this peace you get when you write it. And there's so much joy when you read it out and people are like, I think that joy is what keeps us going. When you read it out and people are listening to you and they are, oh, we want more, they can relate. So you write relative stories and they can relate and all. So it's just about expression and then the peace I get when I'm done writing it. Sometimes there are some things that will be in your head and for 5 days you don't have time to write it. But you won't be able to sleep till you write it down at the end of the day. So it gives me peace. I think I was just born to do this. At the end of the day.
Born to do this. Born to win. Born to ramble. Alright, let's.
Okay, so me, I think what happened was I grew up writing, but then the thing is I wasn't really writing because from my secondary school days we used to be like the backbenchers. So maybe whenever the teacher is out, we just come out in front of the class and we start rhyming, and then all those, table beats and all of that. So that's how it started actually.
So you discover class.
I won't disagree. So eventually when I got into the university, I had this friend and he's into poetry. He's actually a poetry listener. He loves poetry, not that he writes. So whenever we play FIFA, we used to play FIFA at his place. So we'd be playing FIFA and then maybe someone would just bring out a word and then I start rhyming and then all of that because we had it since from secondary school days. So with that, so one day he asked me, what do I think of poetry? Then I told him, yeah, I had a teacher that she really wanted me to give it a try. She's late now, Miss Rose. So she tried actually, but then I wasn't really given the time. As a hard guy at that time, so we don't have time for all of that. We would love to play football instead. So after some time of him being persuasive towards me writing poetry, so something happened actually at school. At around my final year, I had so many problems, and at some point I thought of quitting. So yeah, so he told me, okay, come, let's play FIFA. That's how you can get me. Just call me to play FIFA, I'll come. So after we started playing, so he talked to me and then he was like, I know you are going through a lot. Maybe you should start, or maybe you should consider right at this point. Maybe you will have this stress relief. And I said, okay. So I started, and then he played me some poetry, and then he was like, you can even do better than this. This guy's not even doing it right. All of that motivation and all of that. And then,
Aspire to perspire.
yeah. So it got into my head at some point, and then there was going to be an event at school, a major event. So I talked to the organizers, and then I was like, I would like to perform. So they said, okay, we'll give you a try. And I said, okay. So I went back, and then I remember all those literature days and everything. So I just put my words together, and then I started. That was the first time I actually performed as a spoken word artist. So it was very good. And then even after the performance, people were just calling me, give me your number, all of that. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should do more. I should do more. But then eventually I even fell in love with it. So I can't stop.
Oh man, beautiful story. Yes. Right.
For me, I'll say, let's see, where do I start from? So my first introduction to poetry was, I think it was with Michel's poem, yeah? He was buried inside the coffin, inside the grave, blah 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 on his coffin. The flag was black. I can never forget that poem.
This was how many years ago?
This was 2005. Because this was just one. Yes, I'm old. Just in case you're wondering.
No, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't calculating it.
I was just clearing.
Now that you have now made my thought to ramble to that.
Wow. So I really liked that part because of the way my teacher explained it. All the imagery, the simile, the repetition, all of that in the poem was amazing and fascinating. So for me, that was the point where I really said to myself, okay, I love poetry. And I loved poetry so much that my project was poetry. It was poetry based. I had to analyze some poems and all of that. But the first time I actually wrote a poem would be my 100 level. Our professor told us, go and write a poem and come back with it. And for me, that was how I started writing and all of that. So I just really love this at every point in time because it takes a lot. If you are into poetry, there's a lot of creativity. You're saying certain things, but you're not saying them directly, and it takes a smart person to also understand and decode what you're trying to say. So I just feel it's an elite craft. And for elite people.
Yes.
You just want to show yourself. Alright. Okay.
Um,
Amazing story, by the way.
okay, first, unlike her, I'm very young.
That's creative.
So
I mean,
for me, the poetry thing was all about environment. So I'm not coming from a place where people do that kind of thing. Even in my house, nobody does that kind of thing. But then the school I went to had people that did those kind of things. And then I got access to the internet very early. For some people, that is a no, that shouldn't have happened. Some people wouldn't do that with their children. But with my parents, I got access to the internet early. So the articles came, the games came, the music came, hip hop especially, that is peak poetry for me. Like that is the height of it. Some people, maybe the modern, this thing will make people want to discredit hip hop as poetry, but hip hop is the peak form of poetry, and that is the elitist stage. And it's unfortunate that I can't rap. It's unfortunate that I can't rap.
Yes.
So going to school, I met people that journal. I met people that journal. I met people that wrote poems. I met people that wrote stories. And then my uncle was encouraging, because he lived with us, he was encouraging the hip hop thing. I was listening, and then I was getting ideas on how to, if this is what is in your head, this is how you put it. You don't have to say it directly. You can beat around the bush small before you hit the nail. So for me, it was all about environment and enabling environment. So I'm most thankful to my father, who even though he still today he still has no interest in these things I do, but I'm grateful to him for putting me or throwing me to those places where I could meet people that would influence me and give me ideas.
Nice.
Yes. So, and like I mentioned earlier, since it's not something that, like the environment, I mean, primarily, it doesn't happen regularly. I only write a few times. Maybe when it gets too much, but more recently, I've been on the internet again, and I'm seeing more of it. And so anytime something comes to my head, I'm reminded that that channel is there. So interestingly, the first time I ever performed or recited my poetry anywhere to anybody was the first day I visited Rambling Thoughts Book Club. So for me, performing is kind of a new thing.
Okay.
I never even tried to memorize my poems because it's not for performance.
On the listener, did you recite to your mom on that? They're like, okay, let's hear you, let's have it.
He's trying to put shade on me.
No, it's fine. Continue, please.
So it's more about the environment for me.
Okay.
So there were things to express, and then the environment, I was lucky to find myself suggested ways to express it.
Okay.
And because of the earlier access to the internet to books, because for me books were things that I could not buy. I could not be buying books, and the books were not in the house. So unfortunately, we had to do piracy and be downloading it. So that's how I got the books too that I've read. So
whatever comes after this video, you come after it. You know me. It's not me. You said that. You on camera? Alright, but it's fine.
So
It's fine.
that's my poetry story.
Nice. What's the this is the everyone, right? This can be an argument. This can eventually be an argument. What's the actual personality of a poet? I think people that always, because somebody might be listening to this and wants to start his or her journey as a poet, and like this is my thing. I'm scared. I don't want to begin to keep to myself so much. Because I think the fact for me as a person, if I want to put off all of these words together, right? I need my space. For me as a person, I don't need distractions, right? So in order for me to process these thoughts, put the rhymes together, the box, Michael's box, not the ox.
Go on, go
I
on.
want to flop. You understand? Because if you flop, you might not go up.
Continue. Where don't go up, you will drop.
Oh my.
Right? If I don't go up, I might meet my chop, and I want to chop. You get, but yeah, what's like the kind of personality do you think people who are spoken word artists or poets always keep to themselves?
No. No. That's not true.
You disagree?
Yes, I disagree.
Why?
For me, you can't say I keep to myself if you follow me on social media.
I don't follow you.
But I'm very expressive. I do a lot of things. Although there are sometimes that you really want to write something and you want to be in a space. But for me, I've written most of my biggest or greatest poetry in a busy place, in a bus, in a journey. I've written it in church. I've written it at a party. So for me, it doesn't matter where I am, or I don't think you should box a writer to having a personality. Let's start with that. A writer can be anything. A writer can be a banker too. He can be anything. It's just the ability to write down pieces, to express yourself as we've been saying. So you don't box a writer. You don't say a writer has to. A lot of people think the writers are supposed to be nerds or supposed to have glasses. It's very ridiculous.
Can you even write that? I mean,
We're
I'm
supposed to have glasses. We're supposed to dress all day.
Yeah.
We're supposed to
What's all the?
alternative.
Yes, now like.
Baggy.
Okay. All day.
We're supposed to be weird.
Yeah.
We're supposed to not be able to talk to people. We're not talking to people. We're supposed to be inside our house, quiet, introvert. We're not saying it.
You not carry food bag.
They are trying so much to box a writer.
Okay.
And I think there's a piece online, if you're interested, I can share it with you, where someone was like, don't box a writer. A writer can be anything. You don't say that, oh, you're a writer, you shouldn't be writing about this, you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't be this, you shouldn't be that. I think that's a very big misconception. I read literature, and in my department, I've seen different types of people. I've seen religious fanatics as writers. I've seen people that rap, hip hop rappers,
Yeah.
big headphones,
Yeah.
guys that are in our class and write amazing pieces. I've seen the very conventional writers, as we say, the quiet ones. I've seen the noisy ones. You just can't box. I don't know if you guys still think the same, Sha, but for me, I feel you don't box it. You don't have a way we dress.
Yeah, just true. I feel like what makes you stand out as a writer is how you see the world through your eyes. How you see it. You could be an extrovert, and then there's a situation. The way you perceive it will be different from an introvert seeing that same situation. If both of you are writers, you could be writing about the same thing, but it's going to come in different ways. So it just has to do with how you see things. Yes.
So I like to add that I think a writer's personality is basically based off their experience at that particular moment, what they are writing, how they are feeling. There's no one shoe fits all to all of those. This moment they can be happy and all that and up there and very excited, and the next moment, like for me personally, I don't know about the rest of them, but I think they would agree to this. Most of my pieces came around personal experiences per se, or situations I found myself around, or I just, something just happened and I just thought, oh, this is something I can write on, either from like my personal perspective or like a third person perspective and all of that. So there's no personality to the writer or a poet or
The
something.
question is
And
boring.
sorry, and to add to that,
Okay.
if you're a writer, you're writing from what you're experiencing, as she said. So there are some situations that you see. Let's say answers for now. I think for any of us that wrote about answers, there's this attachment, there's this anger, there's this fury you have. So at that point, I think the reason why people ascribe us to being quiet, and at that point, you're writing about something so delicate. So you don't expect me to be laughing and be gisting. I mean, at a particular space that I have to write in a particular.
You're soaked in the experience
Exactly.
or in the expression. Okay, nice. I'm about to ask you a question. I'm thinking about it if I should ask it. Should I ask?
Just go on.
Should I ask?
Oh, man. That question has been.
Okay.
Because you don't have to
Because
make-
I might. I will not lose my peace this one. Okay. Do you think being a writer can affect your relationship?
Huh.
This question.
Yes,
So here's what I'm saying this, right? Because you're expressive,
Yes.
right? I'm not saying you talk a lot, but you're expressive and you just want to share your mind. You have to talk. So do you think it affects your relationship?
Talk or write. Talk or write.
Anyone?
Because there are some of us that will not talk it.
Okay. But
okay,
you
so I
write.
want no. She will not say it, but you see her facial expression.
It's just there.
It will
As you're
tell.
just doing it.
That's
Sure.
So I'm also like that. I might not say it immediately, but my facial expression will always give me away.
And then I'll write it.
Exactly.
So you might just break up and then two weeks later you're
You
seeing
see your story on there.
story everywhere. They're like, damn.
And then we'll try to put out a disclaimer or we'll try to
This
change
is not
it.
for
Yes, it's not a person.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
it's for the actual person. Okay, nice.
For me, being somebody that writes affects your relationship. Like,
It affects your own.
it affects my relationships. Because recently, I had a talk with somebody, yeah, and then the person just abruptly, I'm going to sleep. So, but I had things to say. I had plenty things to say. And she cut call now. As she cut call, those things were still in my head now. So if I wasn't a writer, I would wait till the morning, and then I say my mind. But then
The
I
right
picked
hand
up my
you-
keyboard. I started, it's 1 a.m. and you understand? So, and after I did all of that, I slept well. So the morning, she was expecting that there would be a whole talk. And because I'd already bored myself somewhere else, I was like, well, let's continue our lives. And so maybe the results that I would have gotten in that relationship would have been different if I was not somebody who wrote. Because she would have gotten to hear the things I had to say. So being a writer really affects my relationships. Even with my parents. Even with my parents.
personally, there are a lot of things that I have written that will never see daylight.
I agree.
I agree.
A lot. So many. so many. Because once I put it out, the people that I wrote them for or not for
Voila.
will know.
That's
Despite I have changed a lot of things, they cannot but. And sometimes you are not writing out of spite. Yeah, it's what some people do not understand. You're just, writing your own perspective and just to, let it out at the end of the day. But they might not read it that way. People's interpretation of what you write will always be different and will always change. How I view or see a Oleshurika poem will be different from how Salim or Sim might read and interpret it. And it might even be different from what he had in mind when he wrote that particular piece. So it does affect relationship for the sake of keeping friendships, keeping relationships and all of that. Just write down friendship.
Okay, I get.
Well, I think that major writing allows you to be for me, it allows you to be very true to yourself about how you feel about the situation, how you feel about the person. I think that's why it's possible that person gets to know actually how you feel, even though it's not coming from a place of spite. They will misinterpret it.
And I think Chinua Achebe said something that once you have done writing, you will no longer use. Whatever you write is no longer yours. Now it's for the world to view the way they want it. So in as much as just make sure saying that you're not writing on spite, but the person can read it and have different interpretations. The other day we discussed Born on a Tuesday, and everybody had different interpretations.
It was something.
Everybody had different interpretation, and there was this back and forth, and we did not agree. I don't think we've ever agreed on the other book was Fisherman.
Yeah,
and everybody had. So there's a way, and I'm very sure the writer didn't even intend it to be like that. I'm just writing,
We just decided
you people now, oh no, this
to
is
ramble around.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Nice. Good perspectives from everyone. So yeah, let's get to this other side, right, where everybody, or where sharing, or everybody shares their piece. So who's starting?
So before that one, let me just do one short one first.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's up to 10 lines. If I die today, please don't say it was sudden. What ripped me apart has been at it for a while. When I tear a hole in the earth, I do not want to hear the word sudden. Tension building. So, back to...
As usual.
Okay.
So now, the poem we're talking about, Mother of Twins. I have been so glad for the last 2 days. I have been reading antinatalist views for the last 2 years. Even if everything has a beginning and end, how I feel now is what has my care. The world is a terrible and scary place on Mondays and Thursdays. It takes a while to recover, but after that come the roses and the rainbows appear. I do not mind if the rainbows lie. I like what they say. My eldest cousin yesterday became a mother of twins. I'm wondering if joy can be stored and gathered. I'm running on the one I got 2 evenings ago. Some people say that children are a legacy. I hate that idea. People make me happy. I noticed today that one of my favorite market women is growing older. That made me sad and happy. I know that having children is giving more toys to sadness and her company. I still must admit that having more people to make more people feel this my joy after Mondays and Thursdays is not too bad an idea.
Okay, that's how you do, right? Okay. Well. Okay.
So he
Yes.
this is, like you said, a counter-attack. It's like I don't agree to his own perspective of
Legacy?
what he said in his own piece.
Okay.
So I'm going to counter it with my own poem. It's called The Content of Our Name. They say the meek shall inherit our name. But what else is in a name if not the soil fertilizing the roots to a family tree? They say the earth shall inherit our name. They say our name shall inherit the earth. There is a lineage buried in each and every last name, so now every introduction of a name feels like a family reunion. Mama, the Babas talk stories and surnames, and they whisper prayers into wombs. So yes, our birth certificate reads like a 9 months prophecy. They say the meek shall inherit our name. They say the meek shall inherit our mothers. Our mothers shall inherit our glory. The meek shall inherit our story. We are our parents' answered prayers. I am the sixth coming of a woman companion. I am copy and paste, passport, paper mache product of a mother. We all are inherited stories, surnames, heirloom, heir to a prophecy. We are fairy tale made flesh, adolescents, amen. We are the byproduct of their holy books. We enter the world greeted by an empty waiting room, made whole to fill a hole. We are C-section cut companion, born in different unknown waterfalls of location. You see, the meek shall inherit our name. The meek will inherit the child. The child will tell their story. We come from a land of storytellers where our parents press their palms in prayers to prophesy over their people. I am what you call a penny in a fountain, or a blown out birthday cake candle. We are the love letters from our ancestors. We are the manifestation murmured and mingled with the model mouth of our father's village. See, like I said, the meek shall inherit our name. Our name is a legacy that is about to be fulfilled, or a blessing that is about to be claimed. So then, after all these, you will still ask me, what is the content of our name? I'll say, the earth, an inheritance of our fathers and our mothers. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like amazing.
Good stuff.
The meek shall inherit our name. Okay.
So I feel a legacy of multiplying in from 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8. It's something we should not feel like it should be filled of. So that's why I counted what
He wants everything for himself.
yeah. So like we like
Not that I want everything for myself.
No, we're not saying ourselves.
Pressure that comes with it.
But the whole idea that my existence is tied to a past is repulsive to me.
And there's a part where he said, people, we need people to bring more people to make people feel better.
Like MMM. Oh, affiliate marketing. Okay, I get. Amazing. It's how you see it, right? And you live based on how you see life. Interesting. Amazing.
Beauty of poetry, you have different interpretations. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, who's going next?
Thank you.
Okay, so this is actually unreleased, and as you can see, I don't even have it in my head.
Okay. Well, I was thinking you wanted to rap. I'm just ready. I've been getting ready to do.
So this is going to be in my upcoming collection,
All right.
1123. That's the title. But the title of this piece that I'm going to recite is A Star. And the reason behind this piece is I am this person that actually we do poetry mentorship, and sometimes we do what do you call it? Anything that relates to poetry. You just understand actually, and then many people usually come, okay, I want to learn this, I want to learn that, and then at some point people will be like, you're already a star, you know. So that's why I do this piece and posters. Aim for the skies, for at least when you miss, you settle for the stars. Consistency is key, so reload, aim, and shoot for Mars. Swim in a pool of possibilities. Negativity is the sinking ship in the middle of an ocean. You illuminate for others, a guide for the travelers. That's your purpose. Don't allow yourself to be abused, used, or misused. That's not who you are. They always make attempts to pull you down to their level, but you are way too far. If you ever feel you did enough, the moon is your neighbor. The sun brightens up the earth and never once asked for a favor. You are created to add value in disguise. An angelic devil spreads the heat in disguise. Feed love and stab them off ignorance. Your union with the one true judge is the one of importance. You are given the key which never gets old, and behold, whatever your sacred book touches turns to gold. I won't say much, as little as a smile is charity, as much good character to uphold. The savior you ask for is oncoming, but until you make an attempt, nothing is going to change. You are not meant to maintain the same position for over an age. You are a sage, and you thinking otherwise puts me at rage. How would you allow yourself to get stuck in a place while you are a bird outside of a cage? Your life is a book. You are the first chapter of your page. Everything about you is inspirational. You are one of a kind. You don't need another star to keep your activities motivational. Your talent is generational. You don't have to tell me as well. I know this. This is a poetry sensation.
Nice. I was just saying sage, age, rage,
That's the right.
mage. Nice.
You want to add your own?
No.
You should present it.
About it.
Okay.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's take it a step at a time. I'm still getting this one. And you've already at this. So let me just be taking it a step at a time. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. If I were to analyze, I think there's a part that really got me, or that you said you are a bird out of the cage, right? And understanding that you're a bird out of the cage, you can fly, right? You're not restricted, right? And the knowing of that is what also helps you to fly, right? There's this story I've heard about how that when an elephant is born and you tie the elephant to a tree, right, and that elephant keeps moving around the tree tied, right, even as it grows bigger, when you remove that rope, right, it doesn't go out of that circle because it has been stationed to think that
That's his zone.
that's his zone, and he's always tied to that space. So you cannot achieve anything if you are not also intentional, and if you don't even know your position, right? So it's important to understand what can even be a cage. A cage can be the friends that you're surrounded by. I don't say a cage can be your parents.
Well, you just did.
Yeah, I just did, right? At a point in time, there could be a cage, right? A cage could be even maybe the company you're working with. A cage could be your relationship. A cage could be anything, right? But you are the master of your cage, right? At the end of the day, what you decide to do with your life, you can break out of the cage, or maybe you are even out of the cage,
No,
or you don't even know.
but then you are.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, who's next? Who's doing next?
Single.
All right. All the guys have gone.
I don't really have anything, but
All those ones that they put plan for you, that's your own.
that was my song. The sky so blue,
Yes.
my mind so true, and I could not believe they were clapping at that.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is like it's prose,
Okay.
and it's called Staring at 30.
Staring at 30. Okay.
Don't know why I chose this.
30 they look you up. Come.
This is what it feels like to stare at 30. A rush of emotions overwhelm you every time you think of it. You cringe at the one time you almost begged for love or a career path. You cringe at the one time you almost begged for love or a career path you saw was the best to lead to your financial freedom. You drink water more often, your back and waist fails you, and no longer rush to reply to messages or invitations. You imagine what tomorrow looks like before you sleep, and you think of what could have been every night. You still think of yourself as the most beautiful person to have ever walked on this earth. You don't pretend to care. You either care or you don't. Your phone is constantly on DND, and you're so much at peace with it. You don't keep grudges. Sometimes you forget to take things personally. Health is paramount, and for the rest of the night, you clamor for what new health trend to follow. You no longer want to talk, you just want to trust. Your body is a country and a temple, so you let them watch. Skip. Family is priceless still, but no longer a fortune. You are the fortune now, and putting yourself first is crucial. You are working towards making your mind a stream. Things come and go, and what flows, flows. You no longer sit to hear people make decisions about your life. You imagine them saying things for their perception and their pressure. You laugh at this because imagine making your decisions due to their perceptions and then they die. You don't let anyone pressure you. You take pride in all the things that make you and all the things you have been given and work tirelessly for. You wash that dress over and over again and plait your hair in cornrows at every given opportunity. You are now aware that you don't really have many options like social media says. These relationships you have built with people are what you will need to navigate the world later. You also know which things you also know which ones are worth trying, worth fighting and worth leaving. The tea should be hot and filled, less sugar. The music shouldn't be loud. Deliberate skincare products to stop acne and help the wrinkled eyes. Your eyes bleed water sometimes. The night is no longer young, and you can't wait to go home. The quality is always better, and you rather spend on comfort than high-end fashion. You now have a hint of what men are about. A simple mass. If he likes you, he'll show effort. The best way to deal with men is not to focus on them. They are mere characters in your story. You alone will choose who stays. You accept shitty behaviors because you can. Learn to remove yourself from situations that doesn't serve you. It will never be your responsibility to make him feel better about decisions he made. You now know better. Your instincts are always right. You think of home alone. You miss the smell of wet sand, the hibiscus falling on the large compound at home, the laughter and how simple life was. You don't want to go back, but unfortunately, that's the only time your mother was alive. Sitting on the long couch and asking you to draw her legs, bring a cup of tea, pick up the call, or change channel. Sometimes it's the Pringles and chocolates you share with her that you miss the most. Other times it's the simplest of things. The outrage when she finds out you have exhausted her data and credit. You cry when you miss her. But you're a year older now. Things are changing, and you're changing too. Some things still remain. Your large heart and your soft, and your large heart and your smart brain. Thank you.
About airports.
I just remember something. How many of us did midnight call? Where's the first place that if you tell somebody that you did midnight call in this place, you should be ashamed. Okay, let me share.
There's conference.
Okay.
Yay!
There was this night like that. I was fam. I was in the toilet. So that my parents will not
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had this, this bedroom. They had this bath.
Yeah.
Right. So I entered the bath.
I just sat there.
I was speaking about
Where is she now?
that's the question you not ask. Why?
Right?
Just ask.
The future you were building, what happened to the building material?
It's gone.
There was not enough water.
Of all things.
Cement became expensive.
And airports don't have them to.
Interesting. It's beautiful how, as we get older, there are certain things we begin to take serious, like our health. And funny enough, it's not good. It's not good that it's something that should have been from start, right? And as we get older, less sugar, more water.
But then I feel maybe it's because now as you grow, you tend to learn more about life yourself.
Yeah, true.
So that's why you don't really know them since from the start. So as you go, maybe whilst surfing the internet or maybe being with other people, then you get to understand more and then learn more about your own health.
It's just about if you know better, you do better.
Or maybe it's just because your muscles take longer to recover from any strenuous activity.
Oh,
That's
yes,
when
and
you
people
become
that
more conscious.
have that
Hope that's
will
not an
still
attack.
subject themselves to a lot of strenuous
I
activity.
mean, we were out the other day with Ibrahim and it was like 9 o'clock and we were like, what tired? And I can remember how
There are times 12 a.m. No, stop.
9 o'clock was like, this is the time that
We
we're
are
This is
going
the
out.
morning, this is the time.
like, we're tired. Let's just
Alright. Nice.
I think also experience from older persons or even younger persons around us sometimes is what spurs us to want to live healthy, and treat our bodies more daily.
We've seen our mothers or our older ones die for just very small health.
Like, no, this, I don't want to
I
make
don't want
sense.
to be like, so I'll not take coke again.
Oh, it has worked. It has worked. I'm like 4th year.
Without coke.
Yeah, that's so good.
Interesting.
What was in the chocolate?
Alright. Okay, I think we'll just take. You guys want to share? Or we just.
You guys succeeded.
Alright. Yeah. Okay, as a roundup, right? Let everyone just share maybe like a pro tip on how you can become a better writer, right? What works for you? What has worked for you? Just maybe briefly, okay, so that somebody will listen to this hand.
For me, what worked for me was consistency.
Okay.
And then I look for better people or who I think are better than me, and then I give them my works to criticize.
Yeah.
And then get yourself a good team.
Team.
You cannot do everything on your own. You need other people. But for me, I do spoken word art. I will need a good producer, even the sound engineering and other things. So you need a good team. So I'm not saying that maybe you should leave the ones that you are with right now, but then there's always room for an upgrade,
Yeah.
So just be persistent.
All right.
For me, it's write the bad poem, write the bad ones. Just keep writing. Just write the bad ones first, and every night or every time you have, go back and see how you can make it better.
So when you say write the bad, it's defined bad because you think it's bad.
Yourself, not us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the book club, you see someone read something and it's like I didn't really enjoy it, and everybody's picking out one or two things they learn from it. And I cannot say this without not talking about the book club. It's very important to find a community. So as Tasio just mentioned, I didn't even know that was his first time reading a poem. But I've seen people based on the book club who have messaged me and they're like, okay, maybe they live the environment, they have the mind or they have the urge to write. So sometimes it helps you write better, it helps you listen to other people's poetry, criticize, and you're like, I can do better than this, or I can try to do this poem that Khalid read. It has been on my mind, and that particular one that Tasha read, I think I even messaged them individually. So like there's a way it makes me feel every time they read it, so every time I hear it, I want to write. I want to write something like that. I want to write something relating to that. So join a community, join a book club, read a lot. I would not stop talking about that. The more you read, the more you write. It's just simple math. You read, you write. Thank you.
X equals to Y.
Yes.
Find Y.
Yeah, and also, practice makes perfect, they say, even though you never be perfect.
It makes improvement.
Yeah, you like improve in most of the things you do, most especially when you also take courses. If you want to improve, you have to like learn more. Everything you do, you learn. Even life, you learn every day. So like if you are you are doing this, you have to learn more, because it's not only when you go to class. Even by reading, you learn.
Yeah.
So if you read, you take classes. There are even workshops everywhere, local, international. So you just choose anyone and practice it too. Like she said, writing the bad ones, the one you feel these ones are not up to what I want it to be. If you write it, eventually you keep like changing, even if it is a word every day.
Yeah.
It would be as sweet as it should be.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay. Before the last month, I've never said I want to be better at writing. It was so I was even spoiled more by Mr. Incredible, Mr. Khalid, because I went up to him and we talked. So, but then I feel like if you want to get better, like environment is very important. When I say environment is very important, like you should start soaking things up. Like she said, read more, you write more. But then not just reading. I take long walks. There was a poem I read, I think 2 meetings ago, family meeting. That one came when I was walking on the road. So when you soak up the world, when you watch movies a lot, I'm talking about things bugging in my head. So when you soak up things, there are a lot of things that bug you in your head. There's this movie called The Green Mile. So if you can soak up a lot of things and then squeeze the sponge that has been soaking, soak, squeeze, keep soaking and keep squeezing, you would definitely get better along with every other thing they've said.
So nice.
Okay. Coming from an overthinker, I would say when you want to write, don't overthink it. Just write. At least have a structure. Sometimes I get a thought and then I have the thought to write a piece, but I don't know how to start. There is something I want to write about, but I don't know how to add the body to it. But once that thought comes, I put a sketch down, and as I go, I build it. So don't overthink it. Whatever it is that comes to mind, put it down first. Because when you put it down, you've brought it into existence, and then you can build it.
So you just be like Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Just start. Interesting. So my final words, right? I want to encourage anyone, if you're in Kaduna, anywhere in Kaduna, maybe not anywhere in Kaduna.
Well, we have 2 branches,
Okay, good.
anywhere in Kaduna.
Yeah. If you are in Kaduna and you're looking forward to starting your poetry journey, or being a spoken word artist, and you're looking for a space, or a reader, or a writer, and you're looking for a space that they can listen to you, and you can also learn, right? Because the environment matters. There's an old saying that iron sharpens iron, right? So you can sharpen the countenance of yourself and your friends, right? So if you're looking forward to doing any of this, right, I will preferably recommend to you Rambling Thoughts Book Club, because when you find yourself in that space, you can be able to nurture that gift that you have and be able to start or even increase in that journey. And also, what better place to be in a place that supports your gift, right? Because you don't know where that can take you to, right? There can be a competition that comes up tomorrow. You get, and the opportunity comes, but if it doesn't find you prepared, you lose it, right? So, my short advice is that get into the space, right? So you can get to. You guys on social media, right?
Yes, we are.
So let me allow you to do that part.
Alright, and it's not just poetry. We read a book a month,
Right.
and usually we have dialogues. We have like important conversations. We talk about various things. So for the first part of the hour, we're talking about something before we have the open mic and everybody shares their story. Also, we're in 2 branches for now. We're at Ilimi House at Angoremi, Kinshasa Road. I think Lapai Road, number 10. We're on Instagram. Follow us at Rambling Thoughts Book Club. And we have another branch in Ghana. Just follow us and then all information will be there.
Okay, interesting.
Before she ends, I think concerning the sharpening and belonging to the community, I think we even have a workshop that we are planning on, either April or the second quarter of the year. So
And we do a
different
lot of
times
things,
during.
workshops, letter writing, just a lot about.
Letter writing, like the informal.
Yes, we wrote letters to each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we do
I
a
see
lot.
one very interesting one.
Wow. Okay. Just like you said, sponge squeeze.
Yes.
And yeah, I actually made them sweat. I made them to sweat. Sorry for allowing you guys sweat. It's good. You are burning calories.
Parents are
Seriously.
doing
That's $10,000.
All right. This has been amazing. Like I promise people will listen to this podcast that I'm even sweating too. Right. Every session will always be better. And I believe that anyone who has listened to this must have learned one or two things from the session. I'm really honored to have you guys around. And
Thank you very much.
people will listen to this. I'm very certain that they will definitely learn one or two things and be inspired by your stories. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.